Hey, I hope everybody's having a good night. I think this is one of the cool things about me streaming on Facebook and YouTube and all that is I can actually real time live react, and I don't have to wait like some of these other guys do. Even though I will be watching, obviously, some of these other live reactions tonight. I can just go on right away, and I actually kind of like that. So let's get some more people in here. We're going to talk about this because you know Yeah, it's going to sound weird to say. It might be weird for you guys to hear at first, but bear with me here. I felt better about that debate than I did about the first debate between Biden and Trump. And I hope I'm not alone in this one. And although I think there were questions not being answered, obviously, and there was a bunch of issues with the debate, and we'll talk about that tonight. Overall, I am definitely more happy with this most recent debate between Senator Kamala Harris and Vice President Mike Pence. Tina, it's just starting. I'm just starting, Tina, and I'm very excited to talk about this today because I think that was an interesting debate, and there's some real time reaction. I have C-SPAN on my TV. Hi guys, hi guys. I'd rather be voting for the vote. Yeah, I honestly I prefer both vices over their running mates. If I'm honest with you. And there's a few reasons for that, but they're both more articulate. Whereas I think Trump and Biden, when they talk with emotion, right? And both of them, and I think both of them do it well. They talk with emotion, and I feel like that is why their bases like them. But with Pence and Harris, they they're more articulate with their words. I think they're better spoken. I think and while they had the issues with talking over the moderator today, and of course, Mike Pence did interrupt Kamala Harris a couple of times, I really don't think they were unprofessional like Biden and Trump were in that first debate. I actually felt pretty okay about how that debate was. Now, there were a few points that maybe I think Harris hit Biden over the head a couple more times than Pence actually was able to land something on Harris. But overall, I think Pence came in with a plan, and it was he looked very well rehearsed to me, whereas Harris didn't look as rehearsed. Yeah, no, I agree with that, Tracy. Yeah, this was not as much of a shit show. Trump is a businessman; he speaks as Ed. Yeah, okay, I can see that. And you know, this was nice, and there were questions not being answered, and I have my issues with that. But, and this is the big but here, politicians never answer questions anyway. I mean, why do we expect them to answer questions during a debate? Honestly, like they don't answer questions anyway. And the best question of the night was the last question, and it was actually a question written by an eighth grader. And I actually thought they both answered that question pretty well. And Pence drew his out a little bit, and I wasn't sure if he was going to answer it at first, but I think both of them actually answered that question um, very well. Oh, you're on, okay? Yeah, I'm watching C-SPAN still. Yeah, I always watch C-SPAN. I like to get that C-SPAN feed. Yeah, guy, no, that was a great question. That gives me a lot of hope. And this is what I mean though. The younger generations, man, my generation, the generations after, even some of the older generation, I think we have a lot going for us, guys. I don't think things are as bleak as people think they are. But my biggest thing was Mike Pence wasn't always moving on from the last topic when he was asked the leading question on the following topic, and I didn't like that. Um, there's a couple of reasons why. Number one, I get wanting to respond, right? But I think it would be cool if he could have just moved on, put that behind him, and answered the question at large, because that's how you're going to land the blows. You're not going to land the blows, and that's where Harris, I think, had the upper hand on Pence. She would leave off on something where she knew Mike Pence would want to respond, and it would keep Mike Pence from answering the question. And maybe she wasn't doing on that on purpose. I don't know. But I think it played well for Kamala Harris. And I'm not really a big fan of Trump or Biden. I'm not going to vote for either one of them. But I thought that played well for Kamala Harris in the debate. The fact that Pence kept just wanting to respond to the last topic rather than moving on. Our kids are smarter than we give them. Oh, they absolutely are smarter than we give them credit for. They absolutely are smarter than we give them credit for. And also that question showed me that they know what the hell's going on in this world. Kamala, yeah, I think Kamala Harris is good. They're both good at debating, and this is what I said when I was talking after the last presidential debate. Harris and Pence are both very good at debating. There's not a question about that. And you could see that today. They're both good, well speakers. They're both intelligent. They both think quickly on their feet. Neither one of them answer questions completely. They both dance around questions or give you partial answers, like a true professional politician. All right. What Harris did that Pence was not doing, and that Pence did eventually start to do towards the end of the debate, but Harris was doing it from the get go, was she would say something small towards the end of her statements that would sit with Mike Pence and it would stick in his head. She was playing a mind game with Pence, and that's what debating is. And I thought that was a good strategy to have if you're Kamala Harris. Now, Mike Pence, I thought he had his moments, believe it or not. And I know he's not he had a fly on his head, and that was like the one thing a lot of people were talking about. Pence had a fly on his head. And I thought it was on my TV at first, if I'm honest with you guys. And yeah. So I got up at one point to try to shoo it off my TV, and it wasn't on my TV, it was on him. But what got me with Pence, and what I'm pissed about is that Pence was in person. He should have been quarantined due to his exposure to Trump. This adds me that kids are being affected by what's going on. Well, kids are always going to be affected on what's going on, no matter what it is, Lori. And yeah, um, I'm not sure. Yeah, I agree with that, Tracy. I'm not sure how they're going to do these debates. If Trump does test negative, I think Trump's going to want to debate. I think Biden might actually want to debate him if he's negative. But why I don't get why they can't just do these off of Zoom or something, or is that not? I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't understand if need be. But yeah, guys, like the climate change thing. Pence came in with a plan, and he wanted to talk about the Green New Deal a lot, and he did that early in the debate. Now, the Green New Deal is something that keeps getting brought up, and I guess it is on Joe Biden's website, but it was something that failed when we tried passing it last time. Now, why do we keep bringing this up? They believe, well, the one thing that Pence kept saying was they're going to ban fracking. Well, the Green New Deal doesn't ban fracking. What Pence and what a lot of people get the Green New Deal that Biden and Harris are talking about is confused with is the eco-socialist Green New Deal that Howie Hawkins has been pushing, which are two totally separate things. Howie Hawkins is not a Democrat. Howie Hawkins is a Green Party presidential nominee. If you don't know who he is, we could talk about him at another time if there's enough interest in that. Jo Jorgensen is the other third party candidate. She is the Libertarian nominee, right? Libertarians, which I am a registered Libertarian, and Green Party people. Now, Libertarians are often thought to be more conservative leaning, right, people on economic issues, but more socially liberal, right? That's what there's a Green Party people, they're more of environment first, right? And that's more of their platform. And I think that is kind of what people don't realize. And the Democrats have taken for granted for a long time getting the Green Party vote, right? And libertarians have been taken advantage of by the Republican Party thinking they're going to get our vote. But neither one of these candidates are really appealing to either one of those two parties. And that's why I think a lot of people are voting Libertarian and voting Green Party this election, which is why I don't understand why they're not letting the Libertarian and Green parties actually participate in these debates. All right, let's read some more comments. We, as the parents of the next generation, the voters need to raise well. Yes, exactly. And a big part of our issue is the media. The news isn't informing the electorate the way it should. And that's something I am working on trying to fix. I'm not perfect at it, but I am trying my best, and I'm going to keep getting better. And I just want to inform people, and I think an informed electorate is important to our democracy. And Kamala was kind of weak tonight. I expect better from her. This one goes to Pence, however, still meaningless. Yeah, I can agree. It's meaningless towards the election, and I don't know if this one goes to Pence. I thought this one was very evenly, Paulo. If I'm honest with you, I thought Pence came in with a plan, and he knew what he wanted to talk about, right? Whereas Harris, I mean, they both came in with a plan, but I think Harris was more trying to stay true to the questions while not answering them, but appear to be answering them to the everyday person. Whereas Pence was just like, you know what, this is what I want to talk about. Let's talk about it. I think that's the difference between their two styles. Pence, I thought he came out swinging a little bit harder than Harris, but I think Harris did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit. Yeah, I did see the fly on Pence's head. I know that was the big topic, the big social media thing that a lot of people are talking about. And I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays forward, seeing as now this was the only VP debate. Now there's two presidential debates, right? So what's going to happen in the presidential debates moving forward? Because Pence was just doing damage control. Yeah, I Pence is a lot more. Pence is intelligent. I think people underestimate Pence's intelligence. I don't necessarily like Mike Pence very much, and I also don't necessarily like Kamala Harris very much. But I thought that I think they're both intelligent, right? And I thought that's what made this debate interesting because it was more of a chess match kind of a debate, whereas Trump and Biden were more of two old men yelling at each other, banging pans, see who can make the most noise. They actually had some intelligence kind of back and forths. I watched the first 5 minutes, but he looked like an old Ken doll, and she looked flustered, so I bailed. Yeah, I thought when they first appeared, I don't know if it's my TV, maybe I was sitting too close, but I thought they both overdid it with the makeup a little bit. If I'm honest with you guys, for the cameras, but I thought there was some good exchanges in there, even if they weren't on topic. He's smart but manipulative. Well, yes. And a big thing that with Mike Pence is he's also religious, right? And I mean, Harris and Biden are both, yes, but Pence is extremely so. And I think that is a big part of why he carries himself the way he does, Courtney. He's intelligent, he knows how to talk, and a big part of that is he got to start in radio, in Christian radio, Christian talk radio, I believe. So his religion has played a big part in shaping the way he talks. If you ever listen to like people that grew up in churches and they grew up talking, I mean, it's not a coincidence. A lot of local politicians are church leaders. It's because they can talk, they can speak. To lead a church, to lead a congregation through prayer, to inspire people, you have to be able to speak, right? And that's why we have Darius Pritchett and all these other guys that are church leaders in the area in government because they know how to speak and talk to people. And they go in with a little bit of credibility automatically with their religious communities. And that's a big part of all of this, guys. And as much as yeah, yeah, guys, yeah, they were talking about it on C-SPAN before the debate began. And, Pence is very well spoken. Harris is very well spoken as she was a prosecutor. So you're getting two people that are well spoken and intelligent. And that's why I had higher expectations for this debate than I think it ultimately got, that we ultimately got. They were both very prepared, I thought. There was a little nerves at the beginning that I think, Courtney, you pointed out, where Kamala Harris did seem a little flustered. She did seem a little nervous to start. But I think she did settle in towards the end of the debate, and they had some decent exchanges. And ultimately, we know the questions weren't that great. I didn't think the moderator really did that great of a job, if I'm honest with you. But again, I feel for these moderators because they're kind of put in hard positions when they're moderating debates because they have a set of rules they have to abide by. So they cannot necessarily do their own thing and ask whatever the hell they want when they're moderating the debates. And I think that's a big part of it. And I think we need to change the format of these debates to be more informative to the American people. I think a moderator should ask questions. It's an ink block test. Most people, yeah, exactly, guys. And honestly, voting is very much underway. A lot of mail-in votes have already been cast. Like everyone, basically, But I haven't voted yet. I have my mail-in ballot should be here soon. I'm going to mail-in vote, but it's like I don't know, guys. I mean, I don't know who I'm voting for, but I knew it wasn't going to be one of those two, just based on their ideas. Honestly, it's hard for me to vote for someone I have no faith in, regardless of the level. And I know how people feel about third party voting. And listen. I've been told every year since I've started voting. This is now my third presidential election. Um, that this isn't the year to third party vote. Well, you know what? Then give me a better candidate from the Democratic and Republican parties. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I know there's people that disagree with me, and that's fine. You can disagree with me on that all you want, but you're not going to bully me into voting for either one of these two people because I just don't believe in them. I'm sorry, I just don't. Um, but yeah, I can agree with that. I think a lot of this is just a dog and pony show where most people have made up their mind. If you're going to vote Democrat, you're going to vote Democrat. If you're going to vote Republican, you're going to vote Republican. I think most people have made up their mind on that, and I think Donald Trump, you know, I think he is really banking on the debates more so than Biden to pull him through. But I'm just kind of speaking out of thin air right now, I guess. There's not like a ton of proof to back that up. There's no statements. When I look at the polls and I look at how his Twitter actions have been lately, I think Trump is really kind of getting nervous. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just the sickness getting to him. I think this is going to be an interesting debate, and this might be an interesting election, and this might be a close one where we don't even know the results election night because they are still counting mail-in ballots in that. And I think if that is the case, that will be interesting. These debates make me lean third. Yeah, even if third-party candidate won't win, it's a vote to let our leaders know that. Yeah, exactly, Tracy, exactly. And really, for me, what it is, it's there was a couple Democratic people I liked early in the debates in the primaries. Neither one of them stood a chance, and I'll disclose to you guys who they are right now because people have, they'll message me whatever. Like I've already had conversations. So I really liked Tulsi Gabbard, and I also liked Andrew Yang. Neither one of them were perfect. I did not like 100% of either one of their ideas. However, I would have voted for either one of them over Biden or Trump. I will tell you that. So those were the two people I liked. The Democratic Party, obviously, they really did Tulsi Gabbard dirty, and it kind of made me upset because I think Tulsi Gabbard's very intelligent, and I thought she was very impressive in the debates and had some brilliant ideas. And I just wish more people would have listened to her. And Andrew Yang had some good ideas too, but I think people listened to Andrew Yang. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of Yang supporters out there, Chrissy, for sure. Even if third party candidate won't win, yeah. I read that already. Yeah, yeah, guys, exactly. And yeah, Andrew Yang, I think you should run for. I don't know. I don't know if I can run a debate, but I think it would be cool to run debates if I could. Actually, I think that'd be pretty cool. But again, it's about getting that opportunity. Is this is all new to me right now. I'm just a dude on Facebook and YouTube. So maybe one day, in the future. Yeah, yeah, guys. A lot of people like Yang. Yang had some good ideas, man. I liked Yang's idea to get rid of lobbyists from politics. I I thought Yang had some revolutionary ideas, and even though I didn't agree with every single idea Andrew Yang had, and I'll be honest, I didn't. I thought he was on the right track, and I thought he was the only one who was serious about actually creating some serious change. Bernie Sanders, I've always had my doubts about, and I know a lot of people love Bernie, and I'm not going to take this time to trash Bernie. I just I've always worried about a career politician that speaks badly about career politicians, no matter who they are. And that's one of those things. In my opinion, Trump needs out, but it sucks that our legitimate choices come down to. I don't. Yeah, and I don't like the lesser of two evils thing. I didn't like that in the last election. I don't like that in this election. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, if you're just voting for the lessers of two evils, eventually it's just going to be evil versus evil. I mean, come on now. Like, come on. Like, we gotta be able to figure that out. Number two, neither one of them really, you know, Trump has brought new ideas, and I don't necessarily like all of his ideas. He has done three or four things I actually liked since he has taken over in office. But Trump's he has new ideas, but I don't necessarily like them. And Joe Biden, he doesn't really have new ideas. And I look at Howie Hawkins, the Green Party nominee. He has new ideas. They're very ambitious, and I don't know if they're doable. And then Jo Jorgensen, who is the Libertarian candidate, who, full disclosure, I'm a Libertarian. That is my party. I don't necessarily agree with everything she says either. Um, and you're never going to find a candidate you agree 100% with, right? But I feel like the four of those people, which are the four major parties, especially the two major parties in this country, they don't represent me and my thoughts on things. And I think that the political structure of this country, we need to get away from this two-party system and maybe completely just it may have four or five parties. This way we can better align with our parties. I don't know. I just right now I just don't think America is very well represented by our politicians because of the two-party system. And I feel like as long as we're dependent on this two-party system, it's going to hold us back, and I don't want that because I love this country, obviously, and I just don't want to see us get held back by this. Got to teach our kids to do the research. Yeah, guys, exactly, and we got to change the way people think about third party voting. I think that's an important part. It's the only way we're really going to see real change out of this is we say, hey, Democrats, Republicans, you've done such a bad job. We're just going to vote for other people. And it doesn't matter how much money and how much airtime you get and how you control the media and how you run everything. It doesn't matter anymore because you're not representing us. And that's how we have to be, guys. I'm going to go. 2.5 minutes about to start. You guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow for Fast News. You guys have a great day, and be easy, guys. And we'll talk more about this debate a little bit tomorrow. Bye.